the DNA test that shattered our family. Until we discovered the truth no one saw coming. Hi everyone, my name is Sarah, and I never thought I'd be writing this. But if sharing our story helps even one person feel less alone or stops someone from jumping to the worst conclusion without all the facts, then it's worth it. My husband, Daniel, and I have been together since we were 19. We met in college, got married at 25, and welcomed our daughter Lily when I was 27. She's 4 now, bright, sweet, and the light of our lives. Or so we thought. 2 months ago, everything changed. Daniel came home from work quieter than usual. He didn't make eye contact, didn't kiss me hello, just went straight to his study and shut the door. I thought maybe work stress. He's an architect. Deadlines can be brutal. But then it kept happening, night after night. He stopped playing with Lily, stopped asking me about my day, started checking his phone constantly, then hiding it when I walked in. Last week, he finally broke. He sat me down at the kitchen table, hand shaking, and said, "I did a paternity test." My stomach dropped. "Why would you do that?" I asked, voice trembling. "Because Lily has brown eyes, and we both have green. I read online that 2 green-eyed parents can't have a brown-eyed child. I didn't want to believe it, but I had to know." I told him I'd never cheated, not once, not even a thought. Daniel is my person, my best friend, the man who held my hair back when I was sick during pregnancy, who cried when Lily took her first steps. I've only ever been with 2 people in my life, both before him. Since we got serious in college, it's only ever been him. But the test came back negative. He didn't yell, he just shut down. Told me to pack a bag, said he needed space. I refused to leave. Not when our daughter was watching, confused, clutching her stuffed bunny like it could protect her from the storm in our home. That night, I slept on Lily's floor, tears soaking her rug, wondering how my life had spiraled so fast. The next morning, Daniel came out of his study. He looked exhausted. He hugged me, briefly, and said we'd talk more the next day. He said he still loved Lily, that he didn't want to kick me out permanently. But the doubt was there, thick and suffocating. I made a list, accredited DNA labs, genetic counselors, even a specialist in rare genetic conditions. I wanted to prove beyond any shadow of a doubt that I was telling the truth. But when I showed him the list, he just said, "Not now, Sarah. I can't." I felt helpless. I wanted to be a good wife, to support him, to give him space, to show him I had nothing to hide. But how do you prove your innocence when the evidence says otherwise? Then, 2 weeks later, we got the second test. Same result. But something didn't add up. I'd never been unfaithful, never even flirted, and Lily was conceived during a cycle we tracked meticulously. We were trying. There was no window, no opportunity, no secret lover. It made no sense. Desperate, I called the geneticist, and that's when we heard the word none of us had considered, chimerism. But before we could even process that, the hospital called. Turns out, during my delivery, there'd been a mix-up in the nursery. 2 babies born within an hour of each other. Same due dates, similar names on the charts, and somehow, through a series of catastrophic oversights, Lily wasn't mine. And my biological daughter, she'd been placed with another family who later lost custody due to neglect. She'd been in foster care for over a year. A detective came to our home, we gave statements, filed a lawsuit. The hospital settled quickly, $1.8 million plus full legal support for custody proceedings. They didn't want this in the news, neither did we. But here's the part that still breaks my heart. Lily doesn't know.
She calls me mommy. She runs to me when she's scared. She draws pictures of our family, me, Daniel, and her, holding hands under a rainbow. How do you tell a 4-year-old that the life she knows might change forever? And yet, my other daughter, Ella, is safe. She's shy, but she smiled when I read her a story. She has my nose, Daniel's laugh. She's ours in every way that matters.
We're adopting her immediately. And we're keeping Lily. Both of them. Because love isn't just biology, it's showing up every single day, even when the world turns upside down. Daniel? He's not the same man who locked me out of our bedroom. He's broken, yes, but also humbled. He apologized, not just for doubting me, but for letting fear turn him cold. He deleted his Reddit account. Turns out he'd been lurking in forums full of men convinced their wives were cheating, feeding his worst fears. He promised to trust me, to choose trust even when it's hard. We're moving in 3 months to Colorado, to a quiet town with good schools and wide open skies. A fresh start, a bigger house, room for both our girls to grow up together as sisters. I still cry sometimes, not because I regret anything, but because the weight of it all is so heavy. What if we'd never tested? What if we'd lost Ella forever? What if Daniel had walked away before we uncovered the truth? But we didn't. We held on to each other, to our daughters, to the belief that even in the darkest confusion, love can find its way back. If you're going through something like this, please don't assume the worst. Ask questions, get second opinions, talk to experts, and above all, remember, sometimes the truth isn't betrayal. Sometimes it's a miracle hiding in plain sight. We're keeping both girls, we're staying married, and we're choosing hope every single day. Thank you for listening. And if you've been through something similar, you're not alone.